Our next question comes from our friend Grigor. And man, Grigor, I spent like 40 minutes in my home studio recording an answer to this question, only to find that the audio did not record except for the last couple of minutes. And man, I feel like I threw some gems of wisdom out there, but that may just be my hyperinflated ego thinking that a lot of words equals value. So I'll try to make this one shorter and sweeter, more to the point, and hopefully answer your question better the second time than I did the first. So Grigor says, you know that contact martial arts cannot be practiced the entire life. Can't they? Can't they? Well, I could give a bunch of anecdotes from people who have done exactly that. I've met many people who've done exactly that. I'm 42 years old. Many people don't live that long. Many famous martial artists, the late great Bruce Lee, for example, didn't get to live that long. He died in his 30s. So he practiced martial arts his entire life. I've been practicing martial arts my entire life. I met a master of Taichi who actually sparred at the age of 80, and he practiced martial arts his entire life. Contact. Helio Gracie did jiu-jitsu, practiced, rolled with his sons up until the week he died. At the age, what was he, like 98 years old? Late 90s? Man, Jigoro Kano's student, Mifune, however you pronounce that. The dude was practicing judo. He's doing randori with his students at the age of 80 as an old man. And he's doing it really, really well. And you can see videos of this. It's good stuff. So there are different levels of contact, and there are different levels of ways to participate in martial arts. But Grigor goes on. He says, getting older, bad health, and things like that are inevitable. Well, getting older is inevitable. Dying is inevitable. Your outlook on life is highly variable. There was a study that I read about, didn't read the study. This is an important distinction. A lot of people on the internet read about a study and then they say, I read a study that said, to try to make themselves sound more intellectual. I read about a study. I didn't read any of the details, didn't read the whole paper, just read a synopsis. But it was quite interesting. Two groups of people were studied their whole lives. And as younger people, they were asked how they felt about aging. And one group was pessimistic about aging and did not look forward to aging. They associated the idea of aging with death and disease and everything's going to suck and be sad and awful and boo. And the other half was looking forward to aging. They were optimistic. They were see the glasses, half full type of folks. And they looked forward to attaining more wisdom and experiences and seeing their grandchildren grow and things like that. And something interesting happened. The latter group, the optimistic group, outlived the other group by an average of 8 years. And that's quite fascinating because diet, exercise, all these other things that we say are so good for us, so far cannot consistently improve longevity to that degree. So what's the takeaway from that? Attitude determines altitude. If it rhymes, it must be true, right? Anyway, let's dissect Grigor's question a little bit more, because it's pretty long. Have you ever thought, he says, have you ever thought that when you will get older, that you will resort to practicing traditional martial arts, like Tai Chi? I do practice Tai Chi. I've been practicing Taichi Twin for about 12 years now. And by practicing Taichi, the image you're probably thinking of is old people in the park doing these various forms and moving around in weird ways where they look like wizards trying to cast spells or make invisible fireballs. Hadouken! But, yeah, man. That's not where my interest in Tai Chi lies. Taichi, like I said, I met a master of Taichi who was 80 years old over a decade ago in Jiangsu province, China, and this guy really knew how to fight. But it had nothing to do with internal magic, chi, energy, or any of that garbage, any of that woo-woo nonsense. It's grappling. It's grappling. Okay, take for example this movement that all the old people do. And they're moving around like this. They're reaching forward, right? And they're pulling. And what is that? It's pummeling. Pummeling for a collar tie. Pummeling for a bicep grip. And then pulling. Boom! It's a snap down when they stomp that foot. What's this movement? It's an arm drag. It's basic wrestling moves, right? There's so much about Taiji Chuan which is basic wrestling. You'll find these moves in wrestling. You'll find them in jiu-jitsu. You'll find them in judo. You will find them in many, many martial arts. So, in a great twist of irony, when I went to train with this guy, I was told, oh, we'll be practicing Tai Chi in the morning with a master of Tai Chi, and I thought we would do slow, dance-like, relaxing movements, and that would be a nice change of pace from training at a hardcore Sanda camp for a couple of weeks. But no, this guy wanted to throw down, and he wanted to literally throw me on a stone floor, because we're training outside, in the streets. Whoa.
Give it up for the boy, Master Ball.
Anyway, it was not a relaxing, gentle experience. If I was an old, frail man, I probably would have broke my hip and my arm and been in pretty bad shape there. But he goes on to say, will you resort to practicing traditional martial arts like Tai Chi? Already there. Karate, Shotokan? Man. Dude, that's something I did as a young man. Shotokan karate? That's something I did in my early 20s. That's something I did decades ago. And there was nothing gentle about that. I had a Shotokan instructor. This dude was a psychopath, man. He was this one hit, one kill type of guy, man. There was nothing gentle, nothing soft, nothing conducive to old, feeble men practicing that sort of thing. In a great twist of irony, my Shotokan sensei, he was about my age. I'm 42 years old now. He was in his early 40s, but the dude acted like he was an old man. I'm so old and frail. And I remember I was doing Shotokan and karate and capoeira at the same time. And he knew that I was also practicing Taekwondo, and he gave me a hard time about it. And he would say things like, when you're my age, you won't be able to do all those high fancy spinning kicks anymore. Well, guess what, sensei? I am your age now, and I can do them better than I did in my 20s. Take that, man. Age isn't just a number. It's age. But not everybody ages the same way, man. Not everybody ages the same way. There are people my age in their 40s who are sick and feeble and infirm and lead sedentary lifestyles, and it would kill them to do what I do for a warm-up. It would literally kill them. And there are people my age who are in way better shape than me. There are people older than me in way better shape than me. Life isn't fair. Life is not egalitarian. The way the years treat us is not egalitarian. But going on this list of gentle martial arts for old people, he also includes judo. Dude, I've done judo for a very long time. I've practiced judo for a very long time. I love judo, and there's nothing there's nothing gentle about it. I know judo is often translated to be the gentle way, the gentle path. I think a better translation is the yielding way. The yielding way, because when somebody pushes, instead of violently resisting it, we violently pull to use that pushing energy against them. When somebody pulls, we push, right? And we yield to the force in order to violently throw them on their heads. There's nothing gentle about that. Man, do 2 hours of randori. That's sparring, standing up, practicing throws, And tell me if a feeble old man is going to be able to do that. No, you're going to have to be, you will have to be physically fit to do that stuff. Even if you want to move like Mifune at age 80. I mean, watch that guy. Look that dude up on YouTube. You can see some videos of Mifune, one of the principal disciples of Jigoro Kano, the founder of Shotokan Judo. And he moves beautifully. And he seems to move effortlessly. And over his years, he's learned to economize his motion. So even as an old man, he's able to do it very well. But, dude, in order to get to that point, you got to take your lumps. You got to learn the hard way. There's no easy way to get there. We learn how to not get hurt by getting hurt. We learn how to not get burned by touching the flame. There's no easy way to get there, not in judo, not in any serious martial art. He also mentions kung fu. Man, there are over 400 different styles of Chinese martial arts, which you could call kung fu. Kung fu just means great skill. That's what it means. Kung fu. Zhongguo Kung Fu, Chinese great skill. It's not just martial arts, it's any talent, anything that you devote your time to doing, to amassing a great skill in. So if you call your martial art kung fu, that means you're good at it. That means you know how to fight. You're not just a feeble old man who's doing it for fun, recreationally. If you have good kung fu, that means you're a good martial artist. You have talent in it. What else is on this list? Anyway, this long list of martial arts that can be practiced when you reach 100 years and that are not demanding on the body. How many people actually live to be 100 years old? I looked up some of these numbers. Not very many. Not very many. Worldwide, how many people are over 100 years old right now? A very small percentage of the human population gets to live that long. Statistically speaking, the average human male on planet Earth lives to the age of 69 years old. That's if you average all the countries, all the people of the world together, the average male lives to 69 years old. And that might surprise you because you may live in a more developed country where they have things like YouTube and the internet and electricity and running water, where the life expectancy is a little longer, maybe 72, maybe 80, maybe 85. But if that worldwide statistic runs true for me, how much longer do I have? 27 years. That's a sobering thought, man. That's not that long. 27 years. So when am I supposed to pick up a cane and start limping around and doing some wimpy martial arts? This probably sounds like I'm angry at your question, but look, I'm not. I appreciate your question, Grigor. I do take some issues with the way that you phrase the question. And I do understand why you asked the question. I retired from professional fighting quite some time ago. My last professional fight left me with some serious injuries. It left me with compound skull fractures, a hole in my head right there. If I get the light just right, you might be able to see the dent. Hairline fracture all the way up there, massive concussion, blind spot in the middle of my vision, right? And a bunch of doctors telling me you'll never fight again. And yeah, I've dedicated my life to coaching. So coaching is what I have done full time for many years. There is a way to be involved with combat sports even if you're not the one in the cage. And there is a way to do that throughout your whole entire life. And I have participated in many different aspects of combat sports. I've been a fighter, a professional fighter. I've been a cornerman. I've been a coach. I am a coach. I've been a commentator, a fight commentator. I've worked for Kunlun Fight, commentated on kickboxing matches and MMA fights. I've been a referee. I've been a judge. I've been a ring announcer. I mean, there are so many other venues, so many other things that you can do in combat sports. You can be a cut man, you can be the guy, you can be one of the officials who checks the tape, you can be the Vaseline guy, you can be a fight promoter. There are many, many ways to be involved in combat sports that don't involve getting hurt. And if you love combat sports, if you love MMA, if you love boxing, if you love kickboxing, if you love these things, if you love ring sports and cage fighting, pretending to harness invisible chi balls is going to be extremely unfulfilling. I love Billy Robinson. You know who that was? The late, great Billy Robinson, great catch wrestler and coach. You can see some of his videos where he was an old man hobbling around on a cane, speaking with his very deep, very gruff voice, which I absolutely love. Loved the way he talked as an old man. And you can see him coaching some great fighters like Josh Barnett. He's coaching the great Josh Barnett, a man who is physically imposing, and this old man with a cane, this man who used to could back in the ring, back in the day, is coaching, is helping Josh Barnett to get better, helping him to win fights, imparting his wisdom and his experience. Why would we expect Billy Robinson to do something else besides that? Why would you expect me to do something else besides that? I love martial arts for a lot of reasons. I love many different martial arts. I practice many martial arts. I have practiced many martial arts throughout the years. I take academic interests in them, as well as physical sporting interests in them. I'm always looking for different ways to train. I'm always looking for more effective ways to train. I'm always looking for more effective ways to win fights. Just today I was analyzing a movement, a Taichi movement, where one guy goes for the arm drag and the other guy circles the arm, countering the arm drag, and then traps the guy's arm into a wrist lock. And at first I'm thinking, an average person who doesn't know what those things are, who doesn't know what an arm drag is, probably wouldn't know what they were looking at and would just think, oh, this is a bunch of woo-woo nonsense. But because I know how to grapple, because I've invested a lot of years into combat sports, I can see the arm drag, and I can see the counter, and I can see the wrist lock. So I'm playing around with this, seeing if I can get it to work, and having various degrees of success. And then I have this epiphany. If you're wearing a gi, that added friction could actually make this work. And I'm going to test this out tomorrow in the gi class, see if I can counter some arm drags and catch some wrist locks. Yeah, I'm one of those filthy wrist lockers who loves to catch people in wrist locks and leg locks and calf and all that illegal stuff, man. All that stuff the IBJJF likes to poo-poo. Yeah, I'm one of those. Why? Because I'm a dirty, rotten cage fighter. And it's all fair game. It's all no holds barred. You know, they used to call MMA NHB. Stood for no holds barred. That's a catch wrestling term. That means all submissions are legal. That means you can crank the neck, you can wrist lock, you can strangle, you can break the arms, you can attack the legs any way you want. Any way to get the guy to say uncle is fair play. But when I am older than I am right now, will my role change? It will continue to change. Of course it will. There might come a time, maybe I'll lose my legs and I won't be able to walk anymore. Maybe I'll lose the rest of my sight and I won't even be able to see through my peripherals anymore. But guess what? There's always a way to participate in the thing that you love. And even if I couldn't do anything in combat sports anymore, at any level anymore, there are so many other things that I love to do in this world, besides martial arts, that I devote my time to. So I don't see any reason to practice something I don't love in favor of something that I do. Thanks for the question. Thanks for watching. Now get out there and train.